great victory over a historic program. We played really well. As you look up and down our roster, virtually every player had a big day. And so I wouldn't be so hard on IU on this one in the sense that I don't know right now that we can play much better. We shot it well, we defended it well, we took care of the basketball, and each and every player, if you look at their numbers, played to the level of their ability on a high end. We got a great point guard playing from Trey and Aiden. It was great to see Aiden play with that offensive freedom. And part of it, Indiana runs that drop ball screen coverage, and so their bigs protect the rim, and so we knew we could get some perimeter shots, and obviously we made them. It's the best two-guard play we've had all year by far between both Denver and KD. KD came in. Denver got off to a great start. KD came in, and very similar to our matchups against Nebraska and then Iowa. Last year at Summer Tournament, you could see a little bit of SEC speed and athleticism that was a factor, I thought, in that game. I'm really proud of KD. I'm proud of Denver for getting his confidence back. He did that on his own. And then proud of KD for just hanging in there and knowing that this is what he can do to turn a game around. And then Jalen Williams, that's the best he's played. Jalen's uncle is Chris Williams. Chris Williams is Hoopsgiving. He runs this event. And so I'm so proud of Jalen for playing so well in his uncle's event. Last thing is didn't surprise me, but how about them Hoosiers? How about those fans? And it didn't surprise me. They love IU basketball. I did a little bit of media work on it before the game. I was in Southern Indiana for 9 years. I feel so blessed to have won a national championship for Indiana basketball in 1995. I don't care if it's D2, D3, and by the way, neither of the fans in Indiana. They don't care what division it is. They love their basketball. And I'll always cherish having done that for Evansville, Indiana. But what an amazing environment. This is a good environment. This is a good environment as it was in a neutral site conference, like the NCAA tournament environment. And so I'm blessed that Auburn was, Indiana's used to that. That's what the Hoosiers, that's what they get. That's what they get when they were everywhere. That was special for us today.
Jacob, Berg, and Nathan, and I'll get to everybody else's questions.
Bruce, you said this is the best that you guys can play. How do you ensure that that happens throughout the rest of the season? Because if you play like that, I mean, it's going to be hard for anybody to stop you.
If Coach Knight was answering that question, he would wear your ass out. How can I make sure we play that way again every night? I can't. You just can't. But that's what it looks like when you do. One of the big factors was we didn't panic when Indiana knocked down. Indiana came ready. They knew we were going to double down on their bigs, and they were ready inside out. They knocked down shots. It's just that's not who they are. And we do have two bigs in there, Dylan and Janai, that can kind of wrestle with their big guys. And so we mixed it up. We went sometimes, but sometimes we didn't. And that was really positive. Hey, the other thing too is I'm not going back on the bus. So don't let the bus. Don't let the bus wait for me.
Yeah.
BP, what does it say about this team to score 104 and Janai had 2? With the scoring load he's been carrying.
Yeah, what it says too is that Janai and Dylan both had a job to do with their inside kids, had to put a lot of effort and energy. And look, it was not our game plan to not go to them, but Indiana, because they got to play against themselves all the time, kind of packs things in. They're in the gaps and they're in the paint, and so we had some advantages in the perimeter. We had some advantages driving the ball to the basket. We had some advantages knocking down shots when they sunk off penetration, and we did.
Nathan and then Mike.
You mentioned that outside shooting for you guys. Just what went into that tonight? Would you say? I know you guys have sort of struggled from the arc the past couple of years.
I would say possibly these are NBA rims, and they are a little softer. I mean, Indiana shot well early. Just seemed like there were a lot of good bounces in there. I think that while we did not shoot the ball well against App State or Virginia Tech, we think we're an improved shooting team. And so our job this week was just to continue to give the guys confidence. And as long as you keep taking good shots, that's the most important thing. But 25 assists, 3 turnovers, that was beautiful basketball. And one of the turnovers was the last shot clock violation, which meant I thought there were times we played fast and beat them down the floor, and then there were times we took care of the ball.
Coach, you've been in search of 2 complete halves of basketball. Indiana made a little bit of a run to come out in the second half. What do you say to your team at halftime, and how were you able to weather that mini run that went on?
Well, I mean, I was concerned. I don't know if it got down to 13 or 14, whatever. It got down to 11. You know, obviously, Indiana, they're picked in the top 4 or 5 of the Big Ten. They've got a lot of veteran guys. It's an older team. They didn't panic at halftime. They came out and hit us right in the mouth. The way that they play, they drove it, they posted it, and you know, we did not do as good a job. Part of post defense is extending the offense. Part of protecting the post is every time they couldn't get the ball close enough to be able to get the ball in advanced disadvantage. So their bigs were getting the ball, but they were getting the ball well off the block, where we were able to help us closer. So that's what we didn't do in the second half. That's what they did. They did the better job of running their offense closer to their own basket. We didn't extend enough.
Tom?
Bruce, so much of your pressure defense gets, you talked about the guards and stuff like that, but you had to be really pleased too with the physicality you played with against the bigs, especially where like he didn't get the ball anywhere he wanted to get it, and he was pressured every shot, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think because we recognized these were 2 elite front lines, and they let them play. And you know, I thought from that standpoint, we were concerned about the physicality of Renew for sure. And I mean, I put my 5-man on him. I mean, Ware's their center, but I put my power forward on Ware. I put my center on their power forward because Janai and Dylan could wrestle with Renew. And every now and then they got over the top to Ware, but we were there to double. And Corey Williams, Chad Pruitt, their scout team had the scout and did an outstanding job. I thought our kids were really prepared. Here's the other thing too on Indiana. They played at Michigan on Wednesday, right? Tuesday. It's a big win. They're 2-0 in the Big Ten. That's a big win in league to win at Michigan. And you know, we lost at Appy State Sunday, so we had 2 extra days. Took advantage of it.
Rich?
You mentioned after App State that you thought the guys, or some of the guys were a little bit rattled maybe. Were you pleased with them tonight? I know it's a neutral floor, but there's a lot of Indiana fans that...
Yeah, again, I thought being down, whatever it was, 22 to 10, that'll shake your cage a little bit. And I thought our guys hung in there, and because easily could have gone, here we go again, and they didn't. Big win for our league. It's a big win. That's a big win for the SEC. We're picked 6th in the SEC, and that's a big win for our league tonight. Because Indiana's just such a great program. Coach Woods is such a great coach, and he was so gracious in defeat tonight. And I told my son, right, that's about as well as we can play. He was very, very gracious in our handshake.
All right, take 2 more questions, Matt.
You touched on the interior defense, on Jalen specifically, you know, with the Khalil Ware matchup getting size to him. What did you think his weapon and when it allowed him to
Well, one of the things that we were able to do is we made one of their bigs go out there on the perimeter, and then we screened them. And so they had to guard like guards a little bit, so it would be a flex cut or a spin down or whatever. We made that big guarding Jay Will, because let's face it, Ware and Renew are both centers. And so we have a stretch 4-man that they had to guard that way. And so we thought we could get those Jay on the perimeter and then screen Jay Will. And so we flashed the ball a number of times and got open.
You made it a track race, especially early. You mentioned that SEC speed. Why do you think it is that you were able to control the pace of play the entire game?
We like to play fast, and the key to obviously playing fast is to make either turn your opponent over or rebound, but not give them second shots. And so we were able to, Indiana turned it over 12 times, not a lot, but we were able to capitalize on some of those turnovers. We mixed in pressure all night long. You know, without Xavier Johnson, they're thin at guard. And so the idea about pressure is not, it takes a cumulative effect. So at the end of the first half, after those guards were pressed all game, bam, they coughed a couple up. And then we had to run a jump one time, they coughed it up, and we put full court pressure and coughed it. So they turned it over 4 or 5 times late in the first half that created that margin for us. And I think fatigue was a factor. If they had Xavier Johnson, a little bit more guard depth, they wouldn't have been bothered as much by our pressure.
Final question, Coach, we're gonna head to the next.
Coach, kind of along those same lines, emphasizing that athleticism and being able to kind of just wear them down over the half, is that something that went during the process of the game, you can feel that momentum kind of building, you kind of push that a little bit more as a half result?
Yeah, we felt it, and that's why we played 10, 11 guys. That's why I've always played 10 guys double-digit minutes, just to have that kind of cumulative effect. But I think the environment, I think the environment in Indiana here got them off to a great start, and the environment that Auburn had here didn't let us get disrupted by it. And we came back. That's our best win here so far.
Thank you.